Inflation isn't just prices going up. It's not random, and it's not an accident. Inflation happens when incentives inside the system quietly change, and those changes compound over time. Most decisions about inflation stop at the surface. Prices went up, costs increase, things feel expensive, but none of that really explains why inflation starts, who benefits, or why it keeps happening across history. That's what we're going to cover here today. So, in the first video, we explained that modern money is created through credit, and that detail matters because inflation is the long-term consequence of that design. Inflation begins when the supply of money grows faster than the supply of real goods and services. The growth usually comes from credit expansion, government spending financed by borrowing, financial systems designed to encourage lending, but none of this is inherently malicious. See, when money grows faster than productivity, then each unit represents less real value. That's the root cause of purchasing power erosion. See, money doesn't lose value all at once, it kind of just loses precision. And over time, the same amount of currency buys slightly less labor, slightly fewer resources, and slightly less time. This erosion is gradual, which is why it's tolerated, because sudden inflation would cause panic, but gradual inflation reshapes behavior quietly. Now, across history, inflation appears most often when debt becomes large relative to the economic output. So rather than default openly, societies often extend timelines, reduce real debt burdens, allow currency to lose purchasing power slowly. This approach is politically easier than direct defaults. Inflation becomes a pressure release valve, if you will. Inflation is harmful because it punishes savers, it reduces wage purchasing power, it distorts price signals, and it encourages short-term thinking. When people lose confidence in money as a store of value, then we often see trust weakens. And that's the real risk, not higher prices, but the loss of confidence. Now, at the same time, inflation does provide some benefits. It reduces the real burden of debt. It encourages spending and investing. It prevents deflationary spirals, and it keeps credit flowing. So from a system perspective, moderate inflation actually supports continuity. And this is why most modern systems aim to manage inflation but not eliminate it entirely. Governments rarely say that they want inflation, but they design systems that rely on it. Now, inflation allows debts accumulated over decades to be serviced without explicit defaults. So, in effect, the value is transferred gradually instead of abruptly. That trade-off is intentional. When inflation accelerates too quickly, planning becomes difficult, long-term contracts break down, and social trust begins to erode. The danger isn't inflation itself, it's loss of control, and history shows that confidence, once it's lost, is really hard to restore. Now, protection doesn't mean panic. Historically, if we go back and see how people responded, we saw that the best approach was going to be reducing idle cash balances, holding productive assets, and favoring things that maintain purchasing power over the course of time. And this isn't about specific products, it's just about understanding what holds value once the money changes. Inflation is neither purely evil, nor is it purely beneficial. It's just a tool, one that trades long-term stability for short-term flexibility, understanding that trade-off is more powerful than fearing the outcome. If this explanation gave you a better understanding of inflation, the next video in this series explains why prices and markets often feel disconnected from reality and why liquidity matters more than truth in modern systems. Now, this series is all about understanding how systems actually work without fear, hype, or any oversimplification. And if that approach is useful, then please consider subscribing. These videos are designed to build on each other, so I hope you guys enjoy watching them. Please consider hitting the like button, and I will see you all on the next one.